Ladies and gentlemen, recently, not long ago, Trump actually went off on George Conway, who is the husband of Kellyanne Conway, because he belongs to an organization called the Lincoln Project. And they just released an ad criticizing Trump on his handling of the coronavirus outbreak. And the ad pretty much puts the entire blame on Trump. So, of course, Trump did not like that. I'm going to go ahead and play this ad for you.
There's mourning in America. Today, more than 60,000 Americans have died from a deadly virus Donald Trump ignored. With the economy in shambles, more than 26 million Americans are out of work, the worst economy in decades. Trump bailed out Wall Street, but not Main Street. This afternoon, millions of Americans will apply for unemployment, and with their savings run out, many are giving up hope. Millions worry that a loved one won't survive COVID-19. There's mourning in America, and under the leadership of Donald Trump, our country is weaker and sicker and poorer. And now, Americans are asking, if we have another 4 years like this, will there even be an America?
Paid for by the Lincoln Project, which is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has shot into the national spotlight.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trump has had a meltdown over this thing, big time. George T. Conway, a prominent attorney and husband of White House counselor Kellyanne Conway, has been trying with only modest success to provoke President Donald Trump's Twitter wrath. For the better part of his presidency, he finally succeeded. Close to 1 a.m. Tuesday, what set Trump off was a video sponsored by the Lincoln Project, an anti-Trump super PAC that George Conway co-founded with other Republicans and former ones. The video, released Monday, lays responsibility squarely at Trump's doorstep for the severity of the ongoing coronavirus outbreak, including the deaths and economic damage. Tens of thousands nationwide have died of the deadly virus Trump ignored. Says the video called Mourning in America, inspired by President Ronald Reagan's famous Mourning in America 1984 campaign ad. Considered a classic of the genre, and Reagan's re-election ad showed happy, prosperous Americans, smiling, going to work, and getting married. It ended with the words, "It's morning again in America." And under the leadership of President Ronald Reagan, our country is prouder and stronger and better. Why would we ever want to return to where we were less than 4 short years ago? Mourning in America. Well, it sure don't mean that for Trump. It sure don't. It's showing dilapidated houses, a worried man at the hospital corridor, heads in hand, a sick person being wheeled on a gurney, vacant industrial buildings, a man applying for unemployment compensation, crowds of Americans lined up wearing masks, and scenes from a Trump speech. It concludes with the words, "There's mourning in America." And under the leadership of Donald Trump, Our country is weaker, sicker, and poorer. And now Americans are asking if we have another 4 years like this, will there even be an America? Trump responded. Oh man, I bet he did. At 12:46 a.m. Tuesday, firing off a string of tweets attacking those associated with the Lincoln Project as losers before turning his wrath on Conway. I don't know what Kellyanne did to her deranged loser of a husband, Moonface, Trump tweeted, but it must have been really bad. So he sent that tweet out at 12:46 a.m. on May 5th, 2020. So Donald Trump went on. He was ranting at this point. Get even for all of their many failures. So this is Donald J. Trump. You see these loser types don't care about 252 new federal judges, two great Supreme Court justices, rebuilt military, protected Second Amendment, biggest ever, tax and regulation cuts, and much more. I didn't use any of them because they don't know how to win. And their so-called Lincoln Project is a disgrace to Honest Abe. I don't know what Kellyanne did to her deranged loser of a husband, Moonface, but it must have been really bad. John Weaver lost big for Kasich to me. Crazed Rick Wilson. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so he just went into his usual rant. He's always out there ranting what's new. So he called Conway a rhino. A rhino is Republicans in name only. The Lincoln Project was established by Republican Conway, former GOP, Steve Schmidt, and Republican operatives, John Weaver and Rick Wilson, among others. Evan McMullen, whom Trump called Evan McMuffin, McMullen is a former CIA officer who ran as an independent in 2016 presidential election. Reed Galvin is presumably a reference to Reed Gallen, a former Republican strategist and Lincoln Project co-organization. Jennifer Horn is a former chair of the New Hampshire Republican Party. Conway is a contributed columnist to the Washington Post opinion section, has been denouncing Trump throughout most of his presidency, sometimes in a biting personal term, describing him as mentally impaired and unfit for the office. Most recently, Conway mocked Trump's comments about the use of disinfectant to treat COVID-19, the illness caused by the novel coronavirus, after Trump, in a since deleted tweet, appeared to mistake the Pulitzer Prize for the Nobel Prize, misspelling Nobel, Nobel. Conway changed his Twitter display name to George Conway. Nobel Nobel committee chair. Mm-mm-mm. The only prior reference to Conway in the Trump Twitter archive is relatively mild, stone cold loser and husband from hell who is jealous of his wife's success. This is what Trump was saying. And he wrote that on March 20th, 2019 about Conway. Well, I can see that being used as a political ad against Trump, you know, as the election gets closer and closer. The following release Monday, the Mourning in America ad circulated on the internet for most of the day, but Trump did not publicly retaliate until after midnight. The Lincoln Project, in its own unsigned tweet, responded to Trump's tweet not long after. Since you are awake and trolling the internet, it said, here is a little bedtime story for you attached. The video Mourning in America. Uh-huh. Ooh, I take it those Republicans don't like him at all. But if nothing else, it's always amusing because Trump, who is he not fighting with? He's always fighting with somebody out there. But they really got him good with that ad. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Seriously, do you think everything happening in the country is Trump's fault, like they're saying in this ad? Peace, family.